Influence here and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. TFcon Toronto has wrapped up. I did not go, but I did see the reveals. So we're going to go over the reveals today. Some of the reveals. So I will say that I won't go over everything. I'm only going over stuff that I'm interested in, which may or may not miss stuff that you're interested in, but I will leave a link to where you can see all the slides. Of course, it's on TFW, which is where I got all the slides from. They always get the slides, and so we'll start off. I got all the picks pulled up. I'll go through the ones that I'm interested in. Like I said,
Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
So let's just get started. We got New Age, which looks like they're repaints, I believe. They're okay. They're not bad. They're pretty nice.
Subscribe.
I'm not too interested in this, but they're included because they are repaints of their other figures. And I'm interested in Legends somewhat. I just think it's interesting. I know a lot of people are. Then you have their Dino King. I don't know what they're calling it. It may have said it, but it's the combiner of the Dinobots. I don't know if this is an afterthought. Somebody let me know in the comments. I don't know if they were always supposed to combine or they like later on said, all right, they're supposed to combine. I know people are making fun of the head in the front. The front right leg. What's his name? Sludge, I think that is. Somebody put a bubble on him that said I should have been a doctor, or I could have been a doctor, because it looks like he's sad. Yeah, I think they should do something with that. However, I mean, if it was an afterthought where they probably just clip in to a skeleton, and I don't know what they could do. Next, we have, I think this is Craftsman Toys. Yeah, it's Craftsman Toys. It's in the corner. Couldn't see it. It's so small. But yeah, this is their more figures of their Computron, which look great for Legends. Computron, this is Legends. So, and then they show the combine mode, which it looks wonderful. It does have some, are they test shots or just, yeah, they're test shots. Look like test shots. That's right. So they might be done because these two are coming together. And with all this stuff, I guess, all the combined parts. Then there's more. This must be a test shot. And he looks like he's done. So, Toy Buddy. I had no idea what this was, but it piqued my interest. It just looks like a cool thing. Something I probably wouldn't get, but for those that are fans of this Bumblebee, it looks pretty cool. It reminds me of DX9's run, or Unique Toys is what I'm thinking about. Run of the movie bots. Like, they're really nice, really intricate, and the stuff that they do, like from car to robot, they really look accurate in both modes. So that looks great. And here we have more Devastator Wars, which we know this company is I believe Star Toys. Another member of their Devastator. Their Devastator is actually, I didn't like the Superion. Well, I only had one figure, and after that figure, it just turned me off, and I didn't get any more. Dream Star Toys, yeah, that's them. Their Superion just turned me off. The first figure, I didn't like the transformation. I didn't like too much. It looked cool, but it just wasn't enough for me. This looks like it's shaping up to be pretty good. I probably should have went in on this instead of the 01 Studios, because I haven't heard a peep about any more of theirs, and this looks like it's almost it's getting there. It does have the gimmick where which I think is great, is the chest piece and the skirt piece, I think, transform themselves and combine and form like a Megatron figure. It's still in this deco, but it looks like Megatron. I think that's a great use of the parts forming pieces. I've never seen that before. And this is just them having the figures they have done and just duplicating it so you can see what it might look like. This looks like a test shot mixed master. And it looks pretty cool. It's stylized, of course, but it looks dope. And yeah, '01 Studios Broadside. I've been waiting for a masterpiece broadside, and it looks great. Looks great. We've seen it before though, so I won't spend too much time on it. I can say the plane mode is probably the best plane mode I've ever seen broadside be, because it's hard. It's hard to be a aircraft carrier and a plane. Like, that's a weird combination. This, I believe, is Lucky Cat. I'm not sure, but they make the little deformed figures, and this is their Bruticus, which is really intriguing. Like I always say when I review these type of figures, they never fit into my collection in a meaningful way in the main collection, like my masterpiece collection, but as bots and figures, they're great little things to play with and mess with, and they're just nice. They come with a lot of accessories. You see all the combined parts. I know the combined parts go together. I think there's a slide of that, but the figures look great in robot mode. Their Predaking really impressed me on how simple, but at the same time elegant. I think the only complaint I had was how tight most of the joints were. But again, I'd rather have tight joints than loose joints, but just not as tight. There we go. That's the little, it seems like all the deformed figures do this, like Master Made. They kind of have a bus. But I like that all the parts, if you just want them in robot modes, you can just make the bus and put it on the side. So that's dope. And it looks great. Looks like they're Predaking. And I think this is their Dino King, where they're coming out with the Dinobots that will combine as well. I don't know what's up with Dino King getting he wasn't that widespread of a character or popular, but I guess the diehard fans, there's fanatics out for Dino King though. So there's Grimlock, and they're making Beast Wars Megatron. And this looks lovely. This looks great. I probably won't get this because I'm not super into Beast Wars, but still, for the Beast Wars fans, this looks about as great a figure as any figure, even though it's super deformed. But as of any Megatron figure, I should say. And there he is chasing Hound. I kind of think they're trying to recreate Jurassic Park with that. And we have the tapes. MMC Studio Ox. Been waiting for this. All their tapes are dope. This is the only thing they showed was just the tape. I thought it would be at TFcon, maybe for sale. Maybe it would be ready. Maybe this is them saying it's ready because it's just one picture and it looks pretty done. So hopefully pretty soon. And Fans Toys. So Fans Toys, I'm sure everybody heard. They dropped the bombs as they usually do. So let's go through it. This is what I was here for, really. So we have Wind Charger. I knew a Wind Charger would be coming. I don't see why they wouldn't do all the mini bots. They did most of them already. So great Wind Charger. I think Bad Cubes is not great, but it's a stand-in. It looks pretty good in robot mode, but it's just not a great figure all the way around. This looks good. Looks articulated pretty well. We'll see. Car mode looks good for my alt mode people. Doors open up. I don't need all that, but it's cool that it does. And the people that like that can. Looks pretty minimum, especially on the back. I know these are renders. That's the other thing we got to keep in mind. They're renders, but a lot of their renders do come into fruition. This is, who is this? I don't know who this. Oh, is this Computron? This is really intriguing to me. I'm in for Bingo Toys Computron, but at the same time, I'm hoping this doesn't derail them from doing it, because I could see, I actually think this looks really good as a render, of course, but I also think Bingo Toys looks really good as well, and Bingo Toys is stylized. This is more G1. Now, everything they released, I can't imagine some of this stuff is far off. And there he is in alt mode. He looks great. Like this, I'm kind of hoping this is far off, because if it's far enough, I'll probably get this too. But I think the arm looks great. Here's another one. Oh man, looks great. Like they're renders, so you can never tell if the final version is going to look exactly like this. And as a leg, but I think I'm not worried as much about them doing a combiner after the debacle. I know a lot of people have lost faith in them doing combiners, but I think they've got it down packed now with the 2 combiners, and that's what took so long. They messed up at first, and I always was in agreement with Bobby on that they must have messed up, didn't know how to combine it, and they had to go back and rework it all the way back to the drawing board. So it just took mad time and money because they had to scrap those designs and redesign it, and that takes money. And that's why you see them putting out a whole bunch of other stuff, because they got to fund these projects with other projects, with projects that are done. They got to fund them. That's why they're repainting and selling, repainting, doing whatever, putting out mad other stuff, and people keep asking for the combiners. Here's Long Haul, their 3rd Constructicon, which he looks good. He looks good. It's similar because it's a similar character to X-Transbots, looking wise. But that's not a bad thing either. I think this looks better than their other 2 bots. I'm still having it in combine mode though. And here he is. He's showing off the articulation. I'm sure if they've heard the articulation complaints of various robots, I still think they're just concentrating on the combine mode. So whatever comes out of it is just extra. And here's alt mode, which looks very good. And this mode, which I assume is the whole, well, no, that's hook on top. So, of course. But, I mean, the torso piece, I assume, is the whole robot and no extra pieces. And here we are with Fort Max, looking glorious, looking how I would want him to look. If you didn't see my top 10 Transformers video, go check that out, because I talk about this guy in one particular area. But yeah, Fort Max is looking great. I really like the way this looks. And he's going to have his minions, and the minions look great. They're probably going to be the size of a regular Masterpiece, probably a little bit smaller than Cerebros. Man, it just looks great. Like the line work, the slim, I do like the slim lined, but I also like the fact that they didn't go crazy tune on it. And here he is. He has the cannons out. It looks great. Like the streamlinedness, the proportions look good. I wish those, I mean, that's accurate with the tracks behind his arms. I kind of wish they would fold up a little bit. Maybe that little bit of change. But here's the sword, and that's Blaster. That's their Masterpiece Blaster. And the sword is as big, just the hilt is as big as him. So that's awesome. And I guess they're going to have 2 swords, or it has the circle, like, so I assume maybe either this is lit up or it changes maybe inside out to look more transparent. But I think it's lights. I think it's showing lights. And the gun, Blaster's holding or trying to hold up the gun, which is super bigger than him. The handle of the gun is telling, because it's like as big as his leg. That's going to be insane. And here he is in battleship mode, which looks wonderful. Looks great. And here he is in city mode, which I love because it reminds me so much of the G1. And that's a grail for me. I want the G1 version. Yeah, that is, I think that is Gasket and Grommet. There he is. I think combined. Okay, so that's cool. This is him in color. So that was a render out of color. And this is a render in color. So it is Gasket and Grommet. Oh, that's dope. Because that thing looked like, well, it don't look like it transforms too much. Probably just puts in his arms, lays on his back, and then the legs do the same. Maybe bust out the tires. Or no, they look like the treads are already out. But probably real treads. All that good stuff. I want all of it. All of it. And here he is. You see how 1200 millimeters tall. I'm in America, so I would have to do some math, but I think it's like 42 inches, something like that. So that's everything they showed that I'm interested in at TFcon. Like I said, a link to all the slides in case you want to check it out will be in probably the pinned comment or the description. Either one, I'll put it somewhere to give credit to TFW in case you want to see it. Like I was saying with Fans Toys reveals, some of that they're doing their thing again with the, I'm sure they know all the people that's coming out with Computron. I'm actually think it's refreshing. I'm ready for Computron Wars because I've been wanting Computron since I've been in this at 11 years ago, I guess 10 years ago, almost, since I started back. Well, I say back, but I don't consider myself collecting when I was younger. I was just buying toys. But yeah, I started collecting about 10 years ago. So I've been wanting Computron, official Computron. I know everything that Fans Toys is trying to release or showed, they're all renders. So they're probably not that close to being done. And I can't see, except for the figures that we know are close, I can see them bringing out the wind charger soon. Of course, the Constructicon is probably done. That'll probably be out soon. But I don't know about some of those other bots like Computron. I can't see them bringing out those figures this soon. Maybe by the end of the year if they get everything else out. And what else was on there? Maybe another Constructicon. They may try to put out 4 to have 4 done by the end of the. That would be great pacing if they have 4 done by the end of the year. But I can't see Fort Max for one. I don't think they would, as a business, you know, thinking like a business person. I don't know if that would be smart to do because they do have a lot of other figures that are going to be expensive. But that is going to be crazy, and it's coming in pieces. So you'll probably get the leg. It may be 3. I don't know if they said anything. If they did, let me know. I haven't heard anything, but I would assume it'll come in 3 pieces. And I mean, the head is the 4th piece. We already got the head, Cerebros, but I would assume it comes in 3 more pieces. But who knows? They might have seen the Metroplex and said, "Oh, we can do this." That might have been what pushed them to reveal it. They might have seen, because a lot of people bought that, and when they first brought it out, everybody was like, "Don't nobody want a 4-foot Metroplex that's that expensive?" Because they didn't break the Metroplex up. They shipped it in separate boxes, but it was all together, and you got it all at once. Depending on the price, I hope they do that, because I wouldn't want to get the legs and then have to wait 4 months to get the body. Bring this video to a close. I'll get up with you guys in another one. Thank you for joining me again. Like, subscribe, share, and I will get up with you. Peace.
You know, life ain't no, life ain't no, life ain't no. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.